Good morning. Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk on Babz Rawls-Ivy. I'm delighted this morning because I've got I have a special guest, Joseph Keckler, who is going to be performing at the Dome at the Schwartzman Center on October 5th. Hey, Joseph, how are you?
Hi, Babs. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. It's a rainy day. Are you in the Elm or where are you?
I'm in Brooklyn, and I woke up rather recently. But yeah, there's all sorts of emergency vehicles outside, and people texting me, "Is your neighborhood flooding?" And which I don't know the answer, but yeah.
Well, good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Thank you.
All right, so tell me a little bit about yourself, because from what I read, you're an opera singer, but you sort of turn opera on its head a little bit, where you like a lot of pop melodies, you like a lot of interesting pushing the boundaries of opera. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I basically consider myself a singer and a writer, and in a kind of unboundaried way. So I came up as a visual artist and trained as a singer at the same time, and then I've worked in music venues, in nightclubs, in sometimes in operas, in all sorts of realms. So, and one thing that I do is sometimes write these short vignettes, often drawn from observation or life, or nights of misadventure, or and I might turn those into a kind of faux Italian aria, or a fake Schubert song in a way, or just a smoky ballad that doesn't have anything to do with opera.
I love it. So when you were a kid, did you know this is what you wanted to do? Like, what was the path, or what was the thinking about a path?
I think I always wanted to be an artist as a kid. So that had different chapters. I was interested in writing. I was really interested in visual art, and I loved singers, and I loved performing. I wasn't really a theater kid, I wasn't. I'm not extroverted in that way, but I would sometimes perform in the talent show.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I think when I was a teenager, I at some point decided I wanted to be a singer in some manner.
Okay. And what song did it for you? Like what was the group or the song or the person or the artist that said, you know what? I want that life.
I don't know. I think it was a progression. I mean, I as a child, I was a very, kind of anachronistic child. I was really interested in singers from the past. I mean, my parents were watching the Blues Brothers one night, and while I was asleep, and I wandered down, drawn by the music. It was Aretha Franklin when I was 5, and then that movie introduced me to just this kind of pantheon of performers. And from that, I became obsessed with Cab Calloway and Aretha, and then, I really got into Elvis, and then I was really into, Screamin' Jay Hawkins, Bessie Smith, David Bowie, then, and then as a teenager, more, some old goth bands and stuff, but very theatrical singers. And not as many, not really opera singers exactly, but later I started taking voice lessons just to be able to try to control what I was doing, and that was more my introduction to opera.
And did you like it? Did you love it? Did you like it? Like,
I found it fascinating, and I really liked the yeah, it was also very theatrical, and I liked the intensity of it. Um, I liked that I liked the discipline of it. I was attracted
mhm.
to discipline.
Now, did you get out of high school and go to a performing college or arts college, or did you do any of that? Or what was the path? Like, how did you get to Brooklyn?
So I ended up I went to the University of Michigan. I'm from Michigan,
Okay.
and so I ended up going to the University of Michigan for visual art as a painter. I came in, and then I started. I trained as a singer too. So I had been taking some voice lessons, and I auditioned for George Shirley, who's uh, the great tenor, and he was the chair of the vocal department. He let me in his studio, so I was kind of, this painter who was, uh, moonlighting as a as an opera singer. So my head space was more in the visual world, and but I but the but I trained as a singer, so
Hmm. Hmm.
almost probably more well, the path was clearer in that realm than painting. I mean, but my degree was in painting. I didn't end up staying and finishing a vocal degree because I was eager to come to New York, and so I came to New York after that, and started performing in a small opera house and performing in clubs and writing absurd plays, and just all kinds of things, and working all sorts of weird jobs, and doing that all at once. And so it was really in a kind of in different scenes here in New York. And eventually I decided to kind of synthesize, the different elements. So I decided I was doing monologues, and I was also sometimes, singing, in Mozart operas and things. And I decided, well, what if I combine these things? And
All
you
right, so I like that. So, I'm a parent, and you have parents. Were your parents worried or nervous, or like, what is he going to do? Like, how's he going to? Did they just support you across the board and said, you know what, the world is yours, go do whatever you want to do?
oh, I think both. My parents. I come from an artistic family, so my
Okay.
parents really are. Both of them are. My mom had studied filmmaking and is writes, and my dad writes, but those are practices. They don't do that as a job,
Hmm.
and so I think they were very supportive of developing an artistic practice in whatever direction that might take, but certainly were concerned that I, was living a tenuous existence and did not have a 9 to 5 job with health insurance.
Okay.
You know? So, yeah.
Okay, so you're in Brooklyn, and you're a working actor, singer, performer.
Yeah, mostly not. I've been acting. I've done acting stuff, but it would more. I was never really. I don't have a headshot. I didn't ever really go to auditions and stuff. I was more in a in a weirdo scene, and also for a while auditioning for opera and stuff, but flirting with that possibility, but mostly focused on in terms of the stage performance. I was writing my own songs and writing my own stuff,
Hmm.
and yeah, and then it's just been a weird winding path.
I love it. So you're coming to New Haven. You're coming to the Dome at Schwartzman, and you're performing one show, one night,
One night only.
Okay. And so what can we expect? Like what will you bring us? How will we be wowed?
Well, I mean, I'd rather under promise and over deliver. um, but and I also like to do things that are surprising, but it'll be just me. Sometimes I perform with musicians, this other musicians. This will just be me, and it'll be a series of songs, vignettes, and some of them are funny, and some of them aren't funny, and yeah. So, and I think I was trying to think if there was a unifying theme to all the songs or all the material, and I thought, well, they're kind of all moments where the character, sometimes it's me, sometimes who knows, is a little outside of their own life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. So, I spend a lot of time with artists, and the pandemic has really given us a full sense of why we need artists. How did you manage through the pandemic? Where were you? What were you doing? And has it changed you and the kinds of stuff that you like to perform?
um, well, the pandemic, yeah. So the pandemic, I had been gone for about a year from New York. I'd been on the road by myself and had put up a show and been living in Philly for a while. Then I was on tour opening for the rock band Slater Kinney across the country, and so I'd been gone, and I came back to New York, and then I was living in my friend's attic in Detroit. And I finally came back to Brooklyn in February of 2020, and I thought I really want to, participate in the city again. I really want to reconnect to what's going on, um, and then of course COVID hit, and then I was locked in my apartment for a year. My roommate moved out at the dawn of the pandemic, and I had already started. It was kind of maybe a premonition or something. I didn't understand it, but I had decided, I really want to be intentional about my living space. I painted all the walls in my apartment. Even my roommate was stepping over um, the brushes and stuff, and and then he moved out, and so I had kind of prepared the space for me. It had been sort of scuzzy, and then it was all revivified, and that was good because it was. I really didn't see anybody for a year. I mean, I was here, so it was good for me because I liked kind of detoxing from performing.
Mm.
There's just so many highs and lows with that, and I kind of leveled out in a way that I'd never done before. That was interesting. I It was strange to be alone. It was some kind of like monk-like existence. And but yeah, I lost all my work. I mean, I had like a TV special that was going on. I had a tour planned. I had all sorts of things that disappeared. And I mostly took that in stride. And I took time to write. I was on unemployment, thankfully, and food stamps, and did some under the table writing jobs or something. But yeah, it was sort of depressing at a certain point as time marched on. But for a while, I embraced it as a new experience.
Hmm.
Um,
And did it allow you to create new expressions? I mean, did it feed you that way? Did it allow you to, like, okay, I'm gonna use this feeling in this new piece of work I'm gonna create?
for the first few months, I was really interested in writing about what was going on, and just the reality, the new reality that we were in, which changed all the time. So I
Hmm.
was I was just kind of doing entries about that, and I hadn't really, yeah. So it was kind of personal narrative woven in with cultural cultural observation and stuff. It was nice. Yeah,
Okay.
it was good to do that. I mean, some of the yeah. I mean, yeah, each week was like a month during that early time of
Yeah.
the
Yes.
lockdown. So yeah, that was the way I was processing what was going on was through
Mhm.
writing.
So you're in Brooklyn. I would imagine that Brooklyn provides all kinds of inspiration and all kinds of of opportunities to look at things a little differently in the world. Do you find that to be true? Do you use Brooklyn as a place of inspiration?
I do. Yeah, I live under an elevated train, so it's very romantic. Um, and I like the energy of the city. So yeah, sometimes I write about the city. Um, I don't go out here as much as I used to. When I'm in other towns, I go out more. When I'm here, I'm a little bit a little bit more of a homebody. I don't know, but I don't have my finger on the pulse of everything that's going on here.
Hmm.
But
So you come to New Haven. Is this part of a tour? Are you touring this show that you're doing, or like?
I'm always kind of touring. Right now it's one-offs mostly. So I just did a couple shows here in New York this month, and last month I was doing different things. It doesn't make any real geographical sense. Let's see, last month I was up in Woodstock, and then in York, Pennsylvania with Lydia Lunch, and then I was at a festival in the Pacific Northwest. Then I was in New York. Now I'm coming to New Haven. Then who knows?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so that's a very sort of uh that keeps you thinking about where you go next. I do like that existence. Is that fun? Is that exciting? Or you wouldn't have it any other way? Or would you like to be like grounded somewhere playing a theater for 7 weeks? You know what I mean? Like,
I would like either thing. I like going on the I love going to new places that I've never been before, and I almost always really like the place that I that I go to, at least for the day, for the night. So I've never really, aside from the Slater Kinney tour, I was never really on a night after night schedule. I was never on a grueling tour schedule, and that schedule
okay.
because I didn't have. My set was short, and I was sleeping on the bus. It was very that was just fun for me too. I mean, I
Mhm.
think sometimes it's exhausting if I'm driving the places or something and it's multiple nights, but um yeah, so it just depends on, I think, other factors. But I really enjoy being on the road, and if somebody wants to have me do a run for 7 weeks in a theater, happy to do that too.
I like it. So on the business side of things, you are your manager. Are you the manager? Are you the PR person? Are you the marketing person? Are you the agent?
Well, for a lot of years, I have been all those things at different points. At this point, I do have a manager, and I have a manager and I have a speaking agent, and so that's all in the past year or so. I mean, I had worked with other people on an informal basis before, but I still do a lot of the um, yeah, organizing and
Do you
everything.
like that part of it? I mean, do you like having that kind of control over your destiny? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if it feels like control, like I have control over my destiny, but yeah, I like working for my. I mean, I like working for myself. I've had lots of other jobs. And for a while, it's like probably working half-time for different jobs and half-time performing. So it's been full-time performing for a number of years now. And I like that. I mean, I like, sort of having my own schedule and all that stuff. I wouldn't say I really like, filling out forms or buying plane tickets or something, but um,
So you're coming to Yale, and the Schwartzman Center is going to be students in the audience, right? They're going to be young people in the audience, and they're probably some of their professors or what have you in the audience, and all kinds of folks. But do you have some words of advice? Because there'll be people looking at you like, he's doing exactly what I want to be doing. Like, I want to be doing that. Like, he's living my dream. Like, how do you speak wisdom to them about what this life is like, and all the things that you get to do as a performer?
I mean, I don't know if they'll want to do exactly what I'm doing. What I'm doing, in many ways, seems rather demented. So if anyone does want to do exactly that, then I want to meet them. But I yes, I know people. I don't know what to tell people, really. I mean, you don't, because people would sort of often warn me. There were like cautionary figures, or they would say, this is really hard, don't do it. Or they would kind of, but I always took that as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I was very defiant of, any practical advice whatsoever. So, um, so I wonder what the point is in advising people that way. I don't know. I feel like my advice is kind of tailored to individuals too, but
Okay.
I do think that people should try to. I do think that people should try to, I guess, follow their dreams, pursue their passion, and pursue their own vision, and also not necessarily be influenced by the increasingly sort of corporate culture that we're immersed in. And um, I think that really participating in that is on some level a deal with the devil, and that you should go your own way. And and especially when you're really young, you have a kind of, it's there's a sort of freedom there, so go for
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah.
So at this point in your career, do you still have dreams, Joseph? Do you still have dreams of whatever? Like, because you're further along in your career. I mean, you're not a kid. So what do you dream about these days? What's the dream?
Um, well, what's the dream? I just want to keep making my work, and yeah, and I want, yeah, I want to keep trucking, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I want
Is
to.
there, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, is there a dream venue out there? Is there a stage that you'd like to get on that you have not been on yet?
I'm sure there are many. Yeah. I'm a sort of roll with it type of person. So I don't necessarily think that way. I don't know. Um, yeah, but yeah. So I don't necessarily think that way. But I'd love to have. I'd love to have a bigger audience. I'm gonna release some music. I'd love to do a bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna
Mm-hmm.
working on some films. So in a way, I'm doing everything I want to do, which is great. But yeah. But I perform for 20 people. I perform for 2,000 people. It's all good. I've never performed for 20,000 people. That might be too many. I would like to try it to see.
So if I ask you what's on your playlist these days, what are you listening to? Who are you digging these days musically?
Well, that's always a tough question. That is a tough question. Let me try to.
Because you strike me as somebody who likes a lot of different kinds of things. I would imagine it would be a very eclectic playlist.
It is. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Um, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So that's I have a different playlist to to exercise versus
Okay,
drive.
what's on the playlist for exercise? Is it
Oh, okay.
fast? Is it hardcore? Is it punk? What is it?
Okay. My exercise my exercise list has some let me look at it. It has this Brooklyn group called Midnight Magic on it. It has some 80, it has orchestral maneuvers in the dark. It's got Rock Steady by Aretha Franklin. It's got some
Okay.
um, John Mouse, Charles Bradley, Light Asylum. It is itself rather eclectic,
Yeah.
but upbeat.
So how do you find all the eclectic artists? Like, do you go places, or like how are you plugged into, like, because it sounds like you're plugged into some cool stuff and people making cool things. I don't know. How do you what is it? Are you just out just in the on the scene? Like, how do you are these your friends?
I don't think any of those people are my friends that I can recall, but I yeah, I'm exposed to a lot of stuff when I'm on bills with people or in
Okay.
on the road. So uh, yeah, I think about people working now would be more through networks, people I know,
Mhm.
or performing with people. Um, so yeah, and so I like knowing about things. I don't really, and I'm a generous viewer, a generous listener, but I don't, I'm not obsessed with that much. You
What would I find you at a Beyonce concert?
wouldn't find me there, but you wouldn't find me there, but um, yeah, but I don't, yeah, that's too big a crowd for me.
I understand. No, I understand. I get it. Yeah, that's millions of people in one space, which is a lot. As the older I get, the more I can't be in those kinds of spaces. So I feel you. So all right.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you could find. I mean, I'll never say never. I mean, never say
I
never.
know, right? Because you never know. Somebody's like, "Hey, Joseph, I got tickets to Beyonce. You want to roll?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put on my silver. I'm gonna go."
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Now, have you been to New Haven before? Will this be your first trip to New Haven?
It'll be my first trip.
Oh,
You know,
I think you'll love
actually,
it.
you know what? My friend Amanda said that she says that I have been to New Haven before. Um, so this is a matter of there's some dispute around this. I might have like technically been in New Haven for 30 minutes once, but I don't remember it. So yeah,
Well,
I'm excited to come. This will be
it's
the
a
first
it's a
time I've
it's a
watched it.
pizza town, so I don't know how you feel about pizza, but we have pizza wars here, so don't leave without having some pizza.
Okay, I better choose my side.
You better choose your side and choose wisely, my friend.
Choose my topping. Yeah.
So are you gonna stay for a day here, or are you in and out?
I'll be there for a couple days.
Okay. Okay. So get somebody to show you around, because I think you would enjoy New Haven. I think you would like the some of the music scenes, maybe, you know. might be a little dull for you, but I think you might dig a lot of it.
No, as I say, I like going out other places, so I will be excited. I don't know if I'll have a lot of time there. Um, I'm a little bit before a show, I concentrate, so I usually have fun after the show.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that night.
Well, the Schwartzman people are a fun crowd, so I don't know if they're gonna show you around or if they're gonna hang out with you or whatever. But it's a pretty cool crowd of folks, and they seem to show people a good time. So I think you'll have a good time. So,
I think so too.
Joseph, I so appreciate you having this time for me this morning. I know you're busy, probably got a gazillion things to do, but I so like talking to artists, and I love talking to very interesting artists. So thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you so much. I thank you so much for having me. It's been
Yes, so
a
good
pleasure.
luck on October 5th, is it? At the Dome at the Schwartzman Center. Have a good, enjoy it. It's pretty up there too. So, it's fancy. So you'll like it. So thank you so much, Mr. Keckler. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Babs.
All right, I'll talk to you. All right, Nora, I'm gonna play us out, Nora. Thank you so much for sitting in for Harry, and I'll be back Tuesday because I'm in Miami this weekend. So I'll be back Tuesday, and Nora, play whatever you want for Monday. Play this again. Play this again.